Hello and welcome back to my craft room. Well, it is day 3 of Inktober. I'm following the ArtyFartober prompt list. I will leave my link tree in the description box so you can go to either our free Discord community or the ArtyFartiani group on Facebook, and you'll be able to find the prompt list there if you'd like to see it. So today's prompt is Whimsical Cat, and I had all kinds of ideas for this. I was actually going to do a stitched piece today because most of us are doing a mixture of things. Some people are stitching and some people are painting or drawing. I'm going to do all kinds of things for this list, and I think that will help to keep my mind engaged and get me through the whole month. Today I've got a very clear idea of what I want to do, and I'm going to combine it with the Scrawler challenge from last month, number 97. So we got it for September. Now I'm hoping, as it's the 3rd of October, I'm hoping most people will have had those by now, but if you haven't had your ScrawlrBox yet and you don't want to see a spoiler, click away now and come back and watch this another time. I'm really sorry if you're still waiting. So yeah, the Scrawler challenge was Claws and Paws, and we've got some lovely bright coloured acrylic markers new from Frisk to try out, so I thought I might as well combine the two, and my Whimsical Cat, or cats it's actually going to be, will fit for both prompts. So let's have a look at what we've got. Here's the ScrawlrBox. If you've never seen a ScrawlrBox before, it's a monthly subscription. You get a box full of mystery art supplies, all selected to work together, and there's always some kind of a substrate. It's usually a paper pad, but occasionally we've had different things to work on. This time we've got 10 sheets of smooth white Bristol board, very smooth actually. I think you can use either side of this, which would be good for what I've got in mind. Nice heavy weight, 250 GSM. You always get a little sticker which is part of the featured artwork. You always get a lovely art print, and this is by Brianna Smith. Sometimes the featured artist will use supplies extra to the box. I would say in this case she probably hasn't. It looks like she's used what's in the box to me. You also get a zine with a brief description of the supplies. Sit down with the artist. There's Brianna Smith. It's always really interesting to read. A few tips and things to try. Artist's advice, all about her artwork. A gallery from the previous two months ago. Several of my friends are appearing here. Very exciting. And then these are the top 3. There's always a related article, an article related to the theme in some way. I love this. They're talking about these strange, and I've noticed this myself, strange creatures you sometimes get in medieval artwork, where people were painting and drawing animals that they've never actually seen. And this was, a medieval monk's idea of a tiger, a hyena and a lizard. And there's some very strange cats as well. Very, very odd. So that was an interesting one. There's a QR code here so you can get more details about the supplies and prices and things, and this is where you'll find the challenge here. Claws and Paws. When they have claws and paws or scales and tails, we encourage you to use this month's supplies to layer up, blend away, draw, mark and experiment with all sorts of textures. Well, I immediately thought cats because I'm just a huge cat lover. Oh, a couple more things in the box. So there's this Unipin fine liner. It's waterproof, which is really handy because I probably will be using water to some extent at least. That's a pigment ink pen. It's a 0.9 there, so it's quite a nice chunky nib. And a Derwent sketching pencil 2B. I love these pencils. So that's a fairly, typical box if you've never had one before. I think the current cost for a monthly subscription is £20.95, but if you take out like a 3-month or 6-month or yearly subscription, it gets cheaper. If you would like to subscribe, I'll put a link in. I hope I remember. I might forget because it's not like just a Scrawler challenge, but I'll try and remember to put a link in the description box. If you follow that, you can get £3 off your first box. And I'll get £3 worth of Scrawler points as well. And if you are a Scrawler subscriber, remember you can do that. You can give your friends the referral link. They'll get the £3 off, and you'll get £3 worth of Scrawler points, and that soon builds up. They've now got this. They've started doing a sub club, they call it, so you get extra discounts and things as well, which is quite nice. And they've got a Discord community, same as us, which is exciting. So there's always kind of something that you tend to think of as the main star of the show in the box. I mean, all of the supplies are important, but there's always something that's the main star of the show, and in this case it's these acrylic markers. I think there's a new tip. Frisk have got this whole new range of pens and things, and I know some of my friends on YouTube and that have been sent these to try out, so I'm very keen to try them myself. I love acrylic markers usually. So it says highly pigmented, quick drying acrylic paint pens. Vibrant and opaque colours, can all be blended while wet. I love doing that, and they can be layered once dry. I've got this bit, I'm going to use this for template in a minute, and I've also activated the pens on here. Now I activated all of the pens except this one. I've left this one to just show you something. I haven't shaken up or primed this one at all. You can see that some of them look, once they settle, if you leave them standing and let them settle, these have been shaken up very recently, it looks like they're only full up to about there. Now the people from Frisk have said about that on the Facebook page, on the Scrawler Facebook page. And apparently this is how they're meant to be. They explain that, you know, they meet all the standards and stuff. I guess they need some space within the tube to give you, if there was no space at all, you wouldn't be able to shake it. There'd be no room for movement. You know, you can hear that ball shaking up the paint. So, you know, there's got to be a bit of space. I suppose, to be fair, you can't, with a lot of markers, you can't see. The cases are see-through. So it might be that this is the case with other markers and we don't know. Apparently, I did read the post about it. I can't remember the exact figures now, but they said something like 240 or 340 meters that these would write for. So if you've got this and you've got your markers and you're thinking, hang on a minute, it looks like all my markers are only full up to about here, don't worry, that's the case with everybody. I mean, I can see people's concern, because if I was setting out to do a painting, that wouldn't seem like very much paint. That doesn't seem like it's going to go that far, does it? So we'll see. So what you have to do with any of these, any paint markers like this, is always the same. You have to give them a good old shake, and then you'll see that the nib is empty. It's just a plain fibery nib. So what you have to do to get ink into it is just pump it. You'll see that if you press it, it goes in and out. Just gently press it. You don't want to ruin your nib. Press it a few times, and then just wait a few seconds, and it will start. You'll see it fill with ink in front of your eyes. Just do it a little bit more. You can see how few pumps that took to do that, and that's flowing nicely now. And it's a good idea during the course of using them, if you just shake them up every so often to keep the paint nicely mixed, and maybe give it a couple of pumps to make sure that nib's always nice and it's got plenty of paint in it. That way you can be much more gentle and you're less likely to get the paper pilling. This is the box they came in. That's fine. One thing I really don't like is horrible plastic. I hate these plastic things. I guess if you're going to be all neat and tidy and keep them in the box, then it's useful, because they, you know, I suppose it's reasonably sturdy. I hate plastic stuff like this. That's going in the bin straight away. But at least I can recycle this. Keep this by me for a while because it might have some information I need. But I prefer to store my pens separately. Now, does it say how you should store your marker horizontally after use and ensure your cap is on tight? Okay, yeah, because otherwise it might dry up. It's always good to know. Some pens will tell you to store them this way up or that way up. So I won't leave these standing up in a pot or something. I'll make sure I'm storing them horizontally. I tend to keep, like with these ones, this has got my Sharpies in. I'll keep them in a pencil case like that and stack them up. I think for the Paws and Claws challenge, Scrawler challenge, and the Whimsical Cat, which is day 3 of ArtyFartober, I want to do like a string of dancing cats, a bit like you used to cut out paper dolls. You know, with paper dolls, you'd fold your paper like concertina wise, and then there would be this kind of basic shape like this that you'd cut out. I can't remember, it's been years since I did it. We used to do it all the time, and you'd cut out, that's really bad, but And you'd cut it so that these were folded edges, so that when you opened it all out, all the dolls would be holding hands. And that's what I want to do, but with a cat. That's my idea. So I thought, well, if I cut the shape out, if I draw the shape out here, and then I can use this as a template, and then I can stick some of these pages together to cut it out, or I'll just do it separately and stick them together afterwards, so it kind of looks like they're folded paper dolls, but they're not really. Just to do my kind of whimsical cat shape, I want the head to be quite big because that's where all the interest is for me. Let's just do this kind of oval shape. Okay, I'm doing this kind of upside down triangle, and I'll create this sort of neck here like this, and then the the little arms where they'll hold hands will come out here. Okay, let's say I want to look a bit like he's kind of dancing. Let's say his little knees are up here, and then they do that kind of a backwards thing, don't they? Give him like toes, because you won't see his tail here, which is a bit of a shame, but let's get this roughly kind of roughly symmetrical. Graphite's shining a little bit. Give them quite a big nose. I quite like them. I think they look cute with a big nose. I know their little noses are quite small really, aren't they? But I think those legs maybe look a bit more froggy than catty, but I'm not sure. It's the hands I'm not sure about. I'm not keen on how I've got the hands. A bit simple. Okay, so now I need to cut this out. It's going to be about the right size to fit on my paper. And then I can draw around it. Okay, I'm all done. I couldn't have guessed that much better, could I? Maybe he could have been taller if I'd wanted, actually. I think I'll stick with it now. I can't go through trying to shape those legs again. So, right. So I'm just gonna draw around this fairly lightly, but I'm not gonna cut it out until after. I'm gonna leave the paper whole and while I do the pen bit, and then once I've made my little string of cats, I'm going to be cutting them out, putting them together as if they were cut out of folded paper in the first place, and then stick the first one into the book I'm using for my ArtyFartober. Pull them out from the book. It'll be like a little fun pull out in the book. That'd be quite cute. I want them all, they've got to all be reasonably the same to maintain the illusion that they've all been cut out for a folded piece of paper. Now I should be able to draw around this in the marker first, shouldn't I, as it's waterproof. I've got a little brush and some water ready because I probably will want to do some watering of these paints, I imagine. What I'm thinking is I might want to put a first coat on, watering them down, and then I want each one to have different patterns, so the patterns will go in straight from pen to paper, but I think maybe the background I'll put on with a brush and water, I'm thinking. So what's this Unipin fine line? I have used these before, but I haven't had this nice big chunky one before, so that's quite nice. Oh, the Bristol board is so lovely and smooth. I do like smooth paper from most of the things I do. Doesn't work so well for coloured pencils, obviously. And this paper should be a good weight as well for being able to cut it out reasonably easy, but still being sturdy enough as well. The faces can all be different, they don't need to be the same, do they? But I do quite like that face that I've got mapped out there. Okay, let's try out some of these colours out. I can just go mad with different patterns and stuff on them then afterwards. So now if I was to put a little bit on there first, and then yeah, you got to be pretty quick to blend it out to put it on first and then blend it out. I would be better to do it on my glass mat, I think. Of course, it's nice that I can practice outside here because I'm going to cut all that out anyway. Okay, I'm just going to pump that a couple of times to get some paint out. I feel like because I know there's only that much paint, I feel like I'm being a bit careful with it. I wonder if these are refillable. It makes me wonder if, you know, you could just refill them with paint yourself. I feel like I want to have pink inside his ears as well, but I should be able to go back over and do that afterwards. So the paper's standing up pretty well, I think, by keeping it reasonably wet but not too wet. Kind of feel like I want a bouncier brush. I'm going to go for this one. I think it would be nice to be able to get this kind of slightly patchy painty look and the solid colour for the patterns. So I'm going to keep going with this. And this paper isn't really ideal for doing this kind of painting on, but it seems to be working okay. I'm just having to be a little bit careful. Not worrying about going over the nose there because I think that's going to end up being black or grey anyway, or pink. I think what I quite like the idea of is then just putting some marks over the top with the solid colour to give the idea of the fur and things. Don't think I left that quite long enough to dry before I tried going over the top. So it's making the paper want to peel, but that's me being impatient. Just wondering when to give him like a t-shirt. Maybe it'd be a leotard as he's, you know, a dancing cat. So is this a grey? Does it tell you the colour? It doesn't actually have a colour on them. I knew I'd need that box, didn't I? Well, it's black. It looks quite grey. I know it's black once you get on the paper actually, but it's quite a nice soft black, which is ideal for what I want. I mean, I've got the unipin liner if I want really, really black, haven't I? So right, so really I'm just going to have fun colouring these in now. I'm going to do some solid colour for that. I'm going to make out like he's got stripy black and white tights down to about there, and I'm going to give him more of his ginger fur here and white toes. That's my idea at the moment. I do like this black, which to me feels like more of a, definitely feels like, you can kind of see there. I mean, if I hold it next to the black top, it definitely looks more grey than black. To me it's like a deep charcoal grey. I'm really happy about that, but it does say black on the packet. I think this is much more useful, this, whatever it is, whether it's a soft black or a charcoal grey. These are going on beautifully because they're so nice and juicy. They're not breaking up the paper at all so far, touch wood. I'm being fairly careful to try and avoid going back over the same area again, which I think helps. Just try and do it in one smooth movement as far as possible. I think if I scribble back and forth a lot, it probably would pull up the paper, but that's always the case with these kind of pens. I must try them on some different surfaces as well, because that's always fun with paint pens, trying them on wood and stone. Seems like a bit of a waste using this white on white paper, but it is a very different kind of a white. You can even see it on the camera. The Bristol board is a slightly bluish kind of a white, I suppose, slightly grey white. What I'm hoping I can do here, if I'm quick enough, is to quickly kind of blend in the orange and the white together. Yeah, it's kind of worked. I might need to touch it up with a liner afterwards, but I quite like that. It does feel like a bit of a waste of the white. It's funny because you know there's only that much paint, it makes you feel really frugal about these pens. It has a strange effect. I'm just wondering about, I don't want them to be just that white now, it looks the wrong white, so I'm thinking about bringing in a different colour. Maybe this green would look nice. Should we go pink? Should we go pink for the shirt? Definitely helps to keep the nib really kind of wet with the paint. Just makes them go on smoother. I'd be interested to see how this dries up. At the moment it feels like I'm going to get lines. I think they might have said somewhere if you want to cover a big area, do it in small areas, so maybe just trying to be careful not to go back over where I've been. They layer over one another absolutely beautifully. Even the yellow, which is usually quite difficult to layer over things, it tends to be more transparent, doesn't it? Yeah, the yellow. Well, let's try the gold. Let's see if we can give her some gold earrings. Quite like that. I might put a flower in the other ear. So that is my first attempt. What I'm going to do now is let all of that dry. It's not exactly how I had it in my head. I'm going to do at least, I need to do at least 4 for it to work as a kind of pull out thing. And if I haven't trashed the backs too much, I might do different colours on the back as well. So it's just going to be a lot of me drawing around the shape again and colouring in different ways. So I've already been recording for far too long. You probably don't want to see any more. I will go back in. I'll also put details in like the claws and stuff as well, and then I'll get them cut out and I'll come back and show you how they're looking. So I'm just going to spend a couple of happy hours colouring in now. Right, you will probably be able to tell I've just realised I'm looking at the screen to make sure this is in shot, and I've got acrylic paint on my blinking computer screen. I had a bit of a splash incident earlier on. Don't think I'm going to be able to get that off without ruining it. Oh, that's going to be annoying. Anyway, never mind. You can probably tell by the change in the light that this is actually taking me a lot longer than I thought it would, but I have finally got something I'm reasonably happy with. I ended up doing 3 little cats. 2 of them I had to do the other side as well. So, and here they are. Ta-da! Dancing cats. So these ones I've done on the other side as well. So I still need to write day 3 and a Whimsical Cat somewhere, and try and take a photo of this and upload it before. It's 11 o'clock at night. I've been going at this for ages. I will say my goodbyes now. I hope you enjoyed watching that. You won't see it until day 4 because I've still got to edit this footage yet. And yeah, you can tell by my voice I'm very tired now. But I just couldn't stop because I really wanted to post it before the end of the day. Doesn't matter. Don't know why I'm stressing about it. I've been saying to everybody else, don't worry about keeping up and things. But I know what I'm like. If I start to let it slip, that's the way my mind works. I just end up thinking, oh, pfft. So yeah, I need to keep on it. Okay, well, thanks very much for watching me. If you're still there, I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you again really soon. I need a drink of water. Bye. Nighty night. Sleep tight.